Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a scrapbook layout for Kitaholic Kits, and today I'm using the October 2022 kit. It's hard to believe it's October. I hope you're having a great time experimenting and having a play with this month's kit. I know I certainly did, and I challenged myself all month in relation to what I was pulling together to show what you can do with this kit this month. The first thing I decided to do was to challenge myself with using some of the tags and the frame pieces from the ephemera pack. And I'm also going to go mixed media heavy on this one as well. So my challenge today was really about using up some of these tags. I think I might have mentioned it in previous videos on my channel. I'm actually not a huge fan of tags. I find them really frustrating. I don't know completely why, but I thought I'd challenge myself today because I really loved the colors in these particular tags, and I thought they worked perfectly with these photos today as well. So I'm heading for a little bit of at this stage, I'm going to make a vertical type layout, and I'm just having a play here to see where I can situate all the frames and tags just on that vertical line down the center of the page. The other challenge I'm doing for myself today is I'm using two photos, so multiple photo layout. Pretty rare for me, although if you did see my first layout of the month, it was two photos as well. So go me, a couple of multiple photo layouts in my repertoire for recently. It is certainly not something I do a great deal, but I really loved these two photos, and I'll talk a little bit about those a little bit later. So once I got all my ephemera pieces there just linking together, I thought I am never going to get this back together. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue in just some of those areas where those ephemera pieces are touching. And then that way I can move this as one piece, coming back and forward to the page as I'm doing my mixed media. So it's just off to the side there, waiting to be able to come back over onto the page as one full piece. All right, so let's get stuck into the mixed media. I absolutely adore the sprays we got this month. But I did, and so I started off with the green spray, which is the gorgeous Distress Mica Stain in the Wicked Elixir. Now I knew that this was going to be a little bit too green because those colours in the ephemera pieces are a little bit more of that sort of tealy colour, I guess. More of that green tone though. So what I've done here is I just sprayed down a little bit of the spray onto plastic packaging, added in some white acrylic paint, and then just smushed it around the page. Now, again, it was still too green, and I knew that would be like that at the very beginning. I knew that this mixed media was going to have to sort of grow and blend as I moved forward, and it was a little bit too bright as well. So once I was moving through that, I then added in some more white acrylic paint, quite heavily actually, and then put lots of water on the page and smushed it around with my brush. Now to lift soft some of that colour, I did actually pop down, you would have seen there, I've got a rag that's an old I think it's an old towel sitting in my stash, and I just lifted off some of those colours, and I really love how that toned the whole green down considerably. And then I wanted to add in some of that purpley pinky colour. Again, the Fortune Teller, this is in the colour of the Fortune Teller in the Distressed Mica Stain. Now again, I knew that was going to be too bright because these Distress Stain inks are so bright. I mean, I love them. They're just absolutely adorable. But I was going for more of that pastel colour. So again, I added in some white acrylic paint. Now, there's nothing special about the white acrylic paint. It is purely just some cheap paint that I got from Spotlight a very, very long time ago. So you do not have to spend a great deal of money on trying to get this sort of effect onto your mixed media, and adding that white just really toned it down, and I felt that it really matched in then with the colours from the frames, particularly from that ephemera pack. And I let that dry. I did speed things up a little bit with my heat tool, and then I added in my usual, gotta love some splatters, so I just used some gold spray that sits within my stash. All right, so pack 2, then now I can place my ephemera pieces, my background, back onto the page. So I've stuck that down. Now, because there is a lot of mixed media, a lot of paint on this page, I have stuck that down with wet glue as well, which is a very big tip. If you're doing mixed media, to stick things down, you should always, I would definitely recommend sticking down with some wet glue. In this instance, I'm using some Nouveau glue. What's it called? I'll just grab it. Nouveau Deluxe Adhesive, which is absolutely my favorite wet glue. And you can get that also in store as well at the Kitaholics store shop as well. So I mentioned before that I really loved having these 2 photos on my page today. And these photos were taken, this is my nephew and my mother's partner. So, and this is my nephew's 18th birthday a few months ago. I cannot believe this young man is now 18. It is quite scary. And we all got together and had a wonderful dinner before his big birthday bash a couple of nights later with all of his friends. So this is my mum's partner. David has been in our family for a very, very long time, so he is Papa David. And I thought that this was just a lovely way just to remember that evening. I've got quite a number of photos that we took that evening, so there will be some upcoming layouts, I'm sure, on my channel, celebrating the 18th birthday of Oliver. Again, hard to say, can't believe it. And I wanted to make this pretty simple then as well in terms of embellishing. So just having a look at some of the ephemera pieces here. I loved that butterfly. I mean, there's nothing negative about a butterfly. I love a butterfly that's fluttering around a page. Also to create those hearts, I actually traced around one of the other hearts that was in the ephemera pack. There's some hearts from the ephemera pack, and I had traced around those using some of the tags. So they were another way to use up some more tags in the ephemera kit. So I loved being able to just repurpose that tag into something brand new and created my own little heart embellishment there. Just adding in just a few pieces around the page. Just like I said, those hearts. There's the celebrate little tag. Cutting down some of another title tag piece there. I cut that in half just to give a little bit more dimension. I have popped some of these items up on some foam as well, and I did pop up the photos on foam as well to add that extra layer of dimension to the page. And I'm using some of the gorgeous letters, words that we got in the kit this month as well as my title. So this day, I loved that Good Times one as well, that little tag there. And I thought that was a great way just to sort of, how should I say it, ground those 2 photos together. And then that is pretty much it for the layout today. As always, I don't do a lot in terms of journaling. There is journaling on the back of my layout. I really, really detest my handwriting. I know I should suck it up and just accept my handwriting, but whenever I have handwritten things in my albums, it's the first thing I look at, and it drives me crazy. So I do a lot of my journaling on the other side of my layouts. To finish off the layout, I felt that it needed a bit of a border. So I'm just cutting out just a little bit more of the strips from one of the pattern papers that I've used in a previous layout. And just with my scissors, just cutting off just a little bit of an edge at the top and the bottom. I ruffle that up with my fingers as well and just stick that down. And it gives a really nice grounding to the page with the border back on the top and the bottom. And that finishes off my layout today. I will leave in the description box below all the details of where you can get the kit from, and you should check out the store. There are some fabulous new items in store at the moment, and I'm sure you can have a little bit of a shopping spree. And don't forget, we have, for all our subbies, we have our exclusive Facebook group where we all share and get together and chat about what we're doing, what we're creating with our kits each month. I've got some close-ups for you to share, and as always, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your spending some time creating with me. Thanks so much. Bye for now.